Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Mr. Muskie Charters, offering full-service guided fishing trips for walleye, muskie, bass, and sturgeon on Lake St. Clair and the Detroit and St. Clair rivers. Booking information is online at mrmuskiecharters.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson and we've got an exciting show for you this week. Jordan's going to take us over to Lake Michigan to the port of Grand Haven, fishing with some amazing kids for a very special cause. You won't want to miss that story. And Jimmy's going to bring us some other excitement this week too.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a few more things on this week's show. We're actually going to kick off this week's episode in the port of Manistee. A couple of weeks back, they had a big fishing tournament there. I was there a few days prior to that to tag along with some guys that were pre-fishing, really getting to spend the whole week up there fishing, getting ready for that tournament. You won't want to miss that. It was a lot of fun. Now, we do have a shortened show this week because our PBS stations are in pledge right now, but it is jam-packed with all sorts of brand new stuff. So you stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream. It's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse. Offering a variety of meat products, Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 and M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen. By G5 Outdoors, makers of the Quest and Prime bows, manufactured and designed in Memphis, Michigan. G5 offers a line of archery bows, broadheads, and accessories on the web at g5outdoors.com. By KL Outdoor, a Muskegon manufacturer of sportsmen's outdoor products for over 30 years, featuring the Terrain line of hard-sided hunting blinds designed for quick setup and removal with quiet operation. For more information and other products, kloutdoor.com.
Michigan-based Vanguard manufactures an array of binoculars, ranging in size and design, and backed by a lifetime warranty. Discover Vanguard sporting optics at vanguardworld.us.
Back found me in Manistee, heading out onto the big water with a group of guys pre-fishing for the big tournament to be held that weekend. Grant Kelly is the one who contacted me, and today our goal was to hit the water and see if we could find some big kings before the upcoming tournament.
Yeah, so when we're setting up, you're looking for that right water temp, and we found that around 50 foot in the last couple of days. You're also watching your screen looking for bait, and so in the morning, you tend to get them a little higher. So we got some higher stuff, but you got some lower stuff down there in the right water column. So you're hoping you got it set up right.
So you're trying a little bit of everything then, or?
Yeah, to start all in the morning, and as it goes, you just kind of keep adjusting. The fishing completely changes as the day goes on. So right now it's low light. You have fish a little bit higher, and as the day gets going on, they might start going deeper. Or,
okay.
So you run some heavier coppers, or you're down
so
deeper.
If you find a bunch of fish in one area, then you'll try to leave them, or do you stay on them when you're pre-fishing like this?
Pre-fishing, you'll kind of stay in that area. If you're catching low-quality fish or small fish, then it's time to pick up and move. But you want to make sure you can get your numbers. So you're always fishing for 12. If you can get 12 fish, then you're in the tournament. If you don't have 12, then there's nothing you can do. But if you get going and you find some nice fish, and then we run down, we find some better fish, then we start targeting that a little bit harder.
Good fish? Okay.
Whoops, analyze.
Nice fish, Grant.
It took us over an hour to find a fish, not a good sign. So since the guys were looking for good numbers of fish, it looked like we were going to make a move.
All right, Aaron, what's the story here? We're picking up and moving?
Yeah, we're gonna do a little run and gun here. We've been on the shelf for maybe an hour, a little more now, and got one trout to show for it. I just don't think the fish are here like we were hoping. So we're gonna continue the pre-fishing and go search towards Ludington, just on the north side of Ludington, Big Point Sauble.
All right.
But from where we're at now, 10, 12 miles, so
All right.
we'll give that a whirl. Hopefully that's a lot better.
Well, it didn't take long after our run south, and we were on fish right away. Now, pre-fishing like this is kind of a weird deal. You want to find the fish and stay on them for a bit, but you also want to rule out certain parts of the water as well. So with a nice coho coming to the boat, the guys were at least now finding some fish.
What you got there, young fella?
I think it's a coho salmon.
Nice job.
A fish, finally.
That's what
Been
they look
riding
like.
for a little bit.
Oh yeah, that is a nice fish.
Beauty.
Tenderizing the meat.
He's gone.
Now what happened next was not what the guys were hoping for. We did have a big fish on, and most likely a nice king the way it was fighting. But it quickly felt different, and it seemed to be tangled in some of the other lines. Well, let's just say it was tangled in about all the lines.
Grant, what happened here? What do we got?
That fish came up off the rigger and went underneath and above all of our coppers and took them all on that side. That is what you call, and we didn't get the fish. That is an expensive miss. That's all of our copper.
Wow.
And we're still pulling it in. We can clip here on this one.
So who are we blaming?
Can't blame anyone, I guess. Mikey. You better not even. Throw me under the bus.
The camera did it.
Yeah, once the mess was cleared up, the guys were back at it. Now, these guys here fish the pro circuit in the smallest boat to enter almost every pro event. But you know what? They really seem to love it.
It's kind of, what's fun about the tournaments is just some things that, it's fishing, you know, like some days are good, sometimes you light them up. Just the competition itself is part of the big deal of it. A lot of it's fishing new ports too. Sometimes we fish a couple places that we don't fish as often.
Okay.
You learn the fishery of that area. You learn the hot spots, so to say, and you know, like up here in Manistee, it's structured. The bottom contours way different than back home.
And where is home for you guys?
South Haven.
Okay.
So back home we're kind of just a desert, a gradual, slow drop off. And out here they call it the shelf, you know. So it's you come out of Manistee and it's relatively flat for a couple miles, and then you could throw a stone and you know you're dropping off pretty quick in that distance. So that structure holds fish, and there's, you know, the currents can be different than back home, and you just part of learning all that and getting to know it.
So we never did find the kings on this trip, but the boys had a few more days to fish and try to find them. Really, the best part about fishing in these big tournaments, I think, is if you can, it's just getting to pre-fish for close to a week. That alone is worth it.
Oh, we learned that the shelf isn't where we want to be. Manistee, there just wasn't any kings there. And then, if worst case, if we need to, we know we can come down here and kind of pick away at some cohos, trying to get numbers. So if we're short a couple of fish, we know we can come down here and maybe slide out a little bit, see if we can't pick up a few. But again, it also kind of shows us this isn't where we want to be for the tournament. So I think we're going to have to end up heading further south. And if we end up with 9 or 10 down there, we got a good chance of coming up here and finishing out our limit.
So with the tournament just a few days out, I had Grant give us his goal for the upcoming event.
Yeah, so what's the goal for the tournament here, Grant?
So the goal is that, so you're on the boat up here and it's on the water, but then the fish are down here like that, and you want to get them into here. Touchdown. Turn it over. Give me the trophy.
touchdown indeed. These guys are awesome to fish with. They took 5th in the pro division, got to fish for a whole week before the event. What a great time on the water. So whether you're going to do some upcoming tournaments or you only get out once or twice a year, it's hard to beat a day on the water here in Michigan's Out of Doors. Hi, I'm Jordan Brown, and for our next segment on this week's show, I was over on the west side of the state in the town of Grand Haven to cover an annual fishing tournament designed to help get kids that might not otherwise have the chance involved in the outdoors.
We're in Grand Haven this morning doing the Tri-City Kiwanis annual sand tournament. We do 2 a year. We do 1 in May and then 1 in July. We always pick up great sponsors to sponsor all the charter boats to get the kids out on the boat. All the proceeds that are brought in by this are split evenly between Helen DeVos, St. Jude's, and North Ottawa. Looks like the lake's nice today. The weatherman cooperated, so hopefully we can get the kids on some fish and have a good day.
Here, and I'm gonna have you lift all the way up, and then when you come down, start reeling. So start reeling and bring the rod down.
Yep.
There you go. And bring it down. And stop reeling. Lift up on them. Yeah. And then reel when you go down. Start reeling. Bring it down. Lift up.
It didn't take us long to land our first fish. We had 4 anglers on the boat today, and the goal was to make sure all of them caught at least 1 fish and enjoyed some time in the outdoors. And that's really what this event is all about.
How was that, fighting that fish?
That was fun.
I take it that's the biggest fish of your life?
That's the only fish I've ever caught. Yeah. I've never gone fishing before.
In the 16 years that we've been blessed with putting this on, I ended up joining Kiwanis. Now they are a big deal. You know, they're the heart and soul of the place now. But the thing is that each year we have from DeVos, they send us 10 to 15 kids that are teenagers that are being treated for cancer. So we take them literally out of their beds and bring them over here and put them on boats, most of which they've never fished, never been on a big boat, they've never caught a big fish. I mean, this is a wonderful thing for them as far as their recuperation. The doctor over at DeVos told me, he says, there is nothing that we can do here that is as good as one day on the lake with you guys. And so that 10 or 15 kids multiplies because every year it's full. And we have we're over $600,000 from our little community here of 20 boats from 16 years of $600,000, and we've also made over 200 for DeVos because they started later, and then 2 years ago we started with Grand Haven Community Hospital, and so we just pledged $100,000 for them. So out of our little community, the generosity of the people is just incredible.
Yeah, the king bite wasn't what we were hoping for this morning inside, so we're gonna slid out deeper water. We're gonna start working the lake trout program here a little bit. Try and get a few more fish for the kids today before we have to call it a day here. Sounds like everybody's been 5 or 6 bites this morning. Everybody's kind of changing the program over to fish for a few lake trout, a few steelhead, try and get numbers up. Yeah, we're in the process of doing the same. So we just took a nice trout on the chute. Dreamweaver Seneca with the whirly gig on it. It's been one of our hottest trout rigs. Taken 2 this morning, missed another one, so it's It's probably good for a couple more yet today if I had to guess. It usually is, so.
There you go, dinosaur. It's on the bottom. We're fishing like 160. It's on a paddle and spinning.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is it gonna flip?
No. He should. Fish has been great. Our fish catch numbers are up. As soon as we hit the water in the spring, fishing was good. We had a small little lull in June, which we always do here in Grand Haven. Fish is a little bit slower today than what it has been. Maybe it's just the Kings are a little bit of a transition period right now before they start getting dark and start feeding up before they move up closer. But yeah, we've been averaging, 10, 12 fish a trip. Some trips, you'll get 18, 20. It just depends on the day. Yeah, good king numbers, good coho numbers. Lake trout have showed up a lot in the last month, so we got good lake trout numbers. Several kings this year over that 20-pound class range. So I think we'll have some 30-pound fish come the fall run before they go up the river.
I caught a fish. I caught 3 fish. Even though I caught small, so I'm still happy. I caught 3 big ones.
Well, the day wouldn't be complete without a little sibling rivalry. After a fun morning of fishing, we headed back in for lunch, prizes, and more. This event has been going on for over 15 years, and it's nice to see a community so involved in helping a group of kids spend a day on the water. Special thanks to Jason, Earl, and everyone else involved for all of their efforts to make this day possible.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you check us out online next time you get a chance. You can do it a few different ways on our website at michiganoutofdoorstv.com or on social media at Michigan Out of Doors TV. We'll be on social media every few days letting you know where we are and where we're headed next. And speaking of where we're headed next, we still have a lot of fun left in store for you yet this summer. We'll be taking you out on a muskie fishing adventure, some more walleye fishing to be had, and we're going to sit down with some gun experts to take a look at how a gun suppressor affects a 450 Bushmaster round out of a few different barrels. You won't want to miss that stuff. We have a lot of fun in store for you.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Lots of good stuff coming over the next several weeks here on Michigan Out of Doors. We've been out doing a lot of stuff with cameras all over the state of Michigan. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this week's show, this is a short show this week, and that's because many of our PBS stations are in pledge right now, and that's when they ask you to go to your phones and make a pledge of support, financial support, around the shows that you enjoy so they know what kind of programming to keep on the air. So if you love to hunt, if you love to fish, if you love to trap, if you love the shooting sports, then really what we need you to do is go to those phones and make a pledge of support around Michigan Out of Doors so that the good programmers across the state of Michigan know that you want to continue to see this kind of programming. There's very few places where you can go on your dial to see just Michigan 52 weeks out of the year, and PBS is the spot. So if you enjoy this kind of programming, we would encourage you to make a pledge of support around Michigan Out of Doors, support the outdoors, and let them know you want to continue to see this kind of programming. Thank you so much for the pledge of support you've made over the years. We look forward to seeing what you're going to do tonight, and hopefully if we all do our part, we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Metalloid Firearms and Sports, developers of environmentally friendly firearm maintenance products for cleaning and protecting your firearm's metal, as well as wood and leather components. On the web at metalloidfirearmsproducts.com. By the Michigan chapters of Safari Club International. For over 40 years, SCI has been protecting hunters' rights and promoting wildlife conservation here in Michigan and around the world. SCI chapter locations can be found on the web at firstformichigan.org. By the Michigan Petroleum Association and the National Oil Heat Research Alliance, advocating the advantages of oil heat for home and environment through products like BioHeat Oil, which blends biodegradable materials into a renewable fuel source. Learn more at oilheatamerica.com. Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, east to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I